Hello. I apologize for the wait.
Hello.
But we're gonna get started. Okay. Oh wait, I have to change the name back to Wowie.
Yep, just give me a sec here. Alright. Sorry about the delays, everybody. Okay. I think we're ready when you are.
Awesome. So I'll just count it in then.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. So we're gonna be doing Bloodborne all bosses today. Not the Chalice bosses, those are the only ones we don't do. That's reserved for a different category, but we'll be doing all of the main game bosses and the DLC. So it should be fun. Is there a delay? Uh-oh. I'll just pretend like there isn't and keep talking. So I picked Military Vet. It's the class with the most levels of strength and skill, because that's going to go well with the weapon we'll be using, which is the Saw Cleaver. And the Saw Cleaver is just the best weapon in the game. It uses very little stamina to attack. You can attack like 5 times per stamina bar without leveling up stamina at all. And it just does the most DPS of any weapon as well. And thankfully we can get it right at the start. This wolf is being kind of scary. Alright. So that's actually a pretty big reset point, is that wolf at the start. So thankfully we got past him with minor issues. So we're going to grab the Saw Cleaver, like I said, best weapon in the game, and the pistol, then mark out. A little bit faster than going back to that tombstone back there. And I'm going to grab 4 Molotovs here. We're only going to use these on one boss, and that's going to be Gascoigne, the first boss. And the reason we're using Molotovs is because we don't have Beast Blood pellets yet until we fight the second boss. So Molotovs just do more efficient damage. And we're coming up to the first glitch in the run, because I'm a dirty cheater. This is called Sewer Skip. And it skips the sewer, as the name suggests. Saves about 35-40 seconds. One of the more difficult skips in the run. Repeat the last sentence. I guess you'll never know what I said because I don't remember what I just said. And this is probably the hardest boss in the run, for sure. I'm gonna not go for that backstab.
Sweet blood. Oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make
Okay, that was scary. I'd meant to throw a Molotov, but I decided not to. Okay, we're just gonna charge our tomb. I was trying to be fancy, but whatever. I wanted that backstab because backstabs look cool, but then I had a complete mental breakdown, so whatever. But yeah, that's probably the hardest boss in the run. And I'm not sure why I didn't throw the Molotov. Because he would have been dead, probably. Sub 5. What was actually the time on that? Because that couldn't have been fast. So now here's like the next kind of annoying reset point. It's not like super common to die to these dogs, but it's definitely possible. So far, so good. That's the part that just kills you, pretty much, if you get stuck there. That's actually really good, considering that was a complete mental breakdown of a fight. Okay, we got past the dogs. That's the first step. Whoa. Yeah, chances are never 0. Audio is synced now? Nice. I was gonna keep talking whether it was synced or not, so... So now we have, like, this is one of my favorite skips in the run. This is called Old Yharnam Skip. I'm gonna do YOLO BSB. I don't care. Okay, so that was Old Yharnam Skip. One of my favorite skips in the run, for sure. Not sure how much time that one saves. I think it saves like 50 seconds. I made a spreadsheet of all the time saves. I think it saved like 50 seconds. Okay, that was a still very frightening because he's right behind me. Okay, stopped. Okay, we're gonna do YOLO BSB. Probably a mistake. I guess we'll find out when I die. I was just kidding. I'm the best in the world right there. Never died there. No problem. But yeah, that's a really cool fight. Unfortunately, with the new route, you don't do that fight anymore like that. But, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty clean. So I'm gonna send that elevator back down because I'm gonna come back here later. There's a secret area that needs a special key to get to, but we don't have that key quite yet, so we send that elevator back down for later. Here's another little secret area over here. Yeah, I've never died there. So we need to grab this umbilical cord, because you need 3 of them to fight the true final boss called Moon Presence. So I grabbed that. And also the doll clothes, because we're going to sell them. They sell for a lot of echoes, especially at the start of the run. So that's going to let us level up a little bit. Now here's the question. I did YOLO BSB. Should I do YOLO ROM? Should I do YOLO ROM? Okay, so here's a cool little glitch. That's called ladder warp. I did that really fast, but what I did was I toggled my weapon, my right-hand weapon, and then pressed X really quickly on the ladder. And what that did was it makes the game think that you're climbing the ladder right now. So when I kill Amelia, I'll be able to warp back to that ladder just by quitting out of the game. So that saves a little bit of time. It doesn't save any real time, so for a marathon it's like the same either way, but in a real run where we use in-game time, it saves like 21 seconds. So that's a slightly newer strat for Amelia. Saves like 3 seconds. It can also go horribly wrong a lot more easily than the old strat, but it's not too bad. I like it a lot. And here's where we're going to do that ladder warp, so rather than running back down there, we're going to quit out of the game. And like I said, this doesn't count towards your final time if you're actually doing a run, but for a marathon, obviously, it's going to run through. So this saves about 21 in-game seconds. It's the only time it's used in this run. It's used a lot more in all achievements. Because in the Chalice dungeons, there's plenty of ladders to do it on. Oh, I thought he was going to block me. That guy can block you. It's pretty unlucky. A lot of his attacks are pretty easy to avoid, but there's one specific one where he just kind of stands there, and that one is pretty hard to squeeze by. So I'm going to pop the gold pendant that I got from Amelia. That gives me a blood gem. Oh, I didn't get that Madman's. I have to grab an extra one now. So that gave me a blood gem that deals extra damage to beasts. And funnily enough, there's only one beast that we actually use it on. So like pretty much every boss in the entire game is like not a beast after this point, after Dark Beast Parl. And the bosses that are beasts, we have a better gem by that point, so... So now we're going to sell that doll set that we picked up for 35k echoes. Oops, and we're also going to buy 5 Molotovs. And 16 Bloodstone Shards with Insight. So Insight is like a secondary currency that you can only get by killing bosses and visiting new areas. And unfortunately, we have to kill the doll because it's faster. So this is where the old route differs from the new route, in terms of like boss order. Is that I'm gonna kill Parl a lot earlier than you do in the new route, because this is like this is an older route that I just like better. I think it's more fun. But yeah, so we're gonna go kill Parl now instead of later. And what this allows us to do is it allows us to get Bolt Paper, which is like a buff for our weapon. Saves a tiny bit of time. It's also slightly faster just because it puts you already down at the boss fight, like in this dungeon area, whereas if you went there later, you'd have to go from the top of this area, which you can't access yet. So now we're going to kill Dark Beast Parl. Uh-oh. I messed up the strat. But whatever. You're supposed to hit his leg there. It does a tiny bit more damage, just enough so that you can kill him with a charged R2 at the end there, but it's fine. So yeah, you'll notice that you just absolutely destroy pretty much every boss because of Beast Blood Pellets. Beast Blood Pellets increase your damage, your physical damage, by 70%, and then increase the damage that you take by 80%. So it's kind of like RTSR, where you're putting yourself at risk by having lower health, but your damage is increased by a lot. So now we're going through Forbidden Woods, one of the bigger areas of the game. So if I die to the boss here, it's a pretty big run back. But if I do die, I'm going to show off a different glitch where you can freeze their AI. Also, a different skip called Hut Skip. I'll show that off as well. So grab some more Beast Blood Pellets there. I think the only boss you don't use a Beast Blood Pellet on is Gascoigne, because you don't have them yet, and Cleric Beast, because you kill him so quickly that popping a Beast Blood Pellet would waste time. Yeah, it is cheating, actually. Yeah, imagine skipping parts of the game, not playing it as intended. Ridiculous. So I didn't grab the Hunter set. I'm going to regret that if I die to Shadows, because it gives you a tiny bit more defense. But I went for the big boy strats. Alright, so this is like the second most scary boss in the run. Well, Gascoigne's not that scary because he's right at the start. I'd say this is probably the scariest boss in the run. Good start. Very good start. Insanely good fight. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this lamp. You don't normally grab it, but if I die to this skip, that's just such a huge run back. Like it's not worth it, especially considering that any attack, or like the fireball is the only attack, but from this centipede monster up here can one-shot you. Don't really want to play with that. So that's called Lunarium Key Skip. That skips like grabbing the key from the tower over there. I'm not gonna do YOLO ROM, by the way, I was just kidding. There's no way. Huh. Very interesting. That was cool. Okay, that made up for it. So we're gonna stagger Rom with a charged R2 there. Keep her from teleporting for as long as possible. And now she has like barely any health. And then I know exactly where to run to get the teleport here right away. Very cool. So that's Rom. Rom is one of the least consistent fights in the entire run. If you're doing a strat that I referred to earlier called YOLO ROM, but decided not to do that for the marathon. It's probably like, I don't know, 60% consistent. And it saves about 20 seconds. So this is actually the area we were in earlier when we fought Dark Beast Parl, but this is the top area of it. So we spawned in the dungeon when we killed Parl. So now we're gonna go grab that key that I was talking about for that secret area. But we're not gonna go there quite yet. Grab some more upgrade materials here. Cool. Okay, so this is Yharnam Skip. This is the worst skip in the entire game. Ask anybody. But I always get it first try every time. Never failed. Whoa, that was interesting. So now I'm going to equip the Cold Blood that I got from Rom. Okay, so I need to grab all of these because I missed one earlier. This area is pretty scary. It's not that bad. It's pretty consistent to run through. I know which directions to run so that I don't get hit by these bullets. So we're just going to kind of zigzag through here. And equip that armor set. Gives us a little more beasthood, which is basically damage. So we actually don't use armor for defense at all in this run. It's purely for its beasthood stat. This boss is extremely scary, because he can kill you really quick. Like that, as you can see, my health bar is just gone. Nothing to fear, though. So that concludes the really scary portion of the run. So now it's kind of smooth sailing until we get to the DLC. Then we get some really cool fights. So we're going to come back here later. That's why I grabbed that lamp. There's actually a boss on the bottom floor of this area. Or rather, a door that takes you to a different area on the bottom floor. And this is the reason why you wouldn't do YOLO BSV in a marathon run, because you actually have to quit out here now because I don't have any blood cocktails. So it's actually faster to do the slower strat, but the faster strat's cool, obviously. It's faster for RTA to do the slower strat. But whatever. We had a good time fighting BSB like a real gamer. Faster equals slower, exactly. So that's our last upgrade material from here. That's gonna let us get a +8 weapon. So that's gonna give us significantly more damage. Oops. Level up a little bit more. Swap out that blood gem that we got from Amelia earlier for a better one. And this is the... Is this the longest split in the run? No. This is the second longest split in the run. So, lots of running here. Logarius would be the longest split in the run. Logarius is about almost 8 minutes long, and this split's about 6 minutes long. Okay, this guy's chasing me really hard. Probably gonna have to quit out here. Sounds like he stopped, actually. He might still be there, though. Yeah, looks like he stopped. But this guy's gonna chase me, of course. Why not? Please don't kill me. That was extremely close. Okay, we're good. Look away if you don't like spiders. These spiders look very real. but huge. I'm actually not using splits right now, but I've ran this game for like 27 years of my life, so I know exactly how long each split is. Feels, man. So I grabbed some blue elixirs there. They basically just make you transparent, so that enemies take a lot longer to see you. And that lets you run by some otherwise scary enemies. I should have grabbed that elevator. Hopefully I don't die to Miko. Okay, where's this guy? That was an interesting camera angle. There's actually a lizard down here that we can kill in the middle of this fight for more upgrade materials. And a few vials over here. So this is like the longest fight in the game because of all the running you have to do. So I messed that up. Whatever. Not a huge deal. You're supposed to block him in the corner there. Whatever. It's a little safer, actually, like that, because then this puppet isn't there to kill you. This is a real speedrun. I'm just having fun right now. I always have fun. It's actually not that big of a deal. I'm not sure how much time that loses, maybe 30 seconds, but... worse things have happened. I could have died and lost 4 minutes, so... yeah, this is pretty much just a fast, casual run. So you'd think this would be a huge waste of time, going all the way down here for a blood gem. But it actually saves time, because this blood gem gives you plus 18% damage. And you're going to have it for the rest of the run, obviously, so... how can speed be if glitch? Same. That's exactly what I was thinking. So this area is pretty scary. This is the only reason I picked up these blue elixirs, actually. Otherwise, there's not really any reason to grab them. In a real run, you wouldn't use blue elixirs here, and you'd just use some consistent TM pathing that sometimes works. But all of these enemies can one-shot you, so best to just not chance it. See, this is what the blue elixir does. Normally these guys would already be attacking me, but I can just run right past them. So this is one of the easier bosses in the run, but she can still kill you, so... Best opener. That was a pretty interesting fight, actually. Didn't have to do that. I was thinking about it, but yeah, I think I would have killed her with 5 hits there, so whatever. You can cancel the nightmare phase by dodging through it. It acts like an AoE attack, so that's what I did there, but I didn't have to because I could have killed her before the clone even spawned. But might as well just be safe. So that's like the any % portion of the run. So we could actually beat the game right now just by talking to Gehrman. But we have some cleanup to do with optional bosses and the DLC. So I'm gonna get my weapon to +9 now. So the max is 10. Slot the rest of my good blood gems, so now I have the best blood gems that you can get in just a normal playthrough without going to the dungeons or farming for them. And this is one of the harder skips in the run. I guess it's not really hard, like anybody could do it, but to be consistent at it is pretty difficult. That's called Lecture Hall Skip. It only saves like 15 seconds, so if you fail it 3 or 4 times, you're not saving any time. So you have to be pretty good. And this is another cool skip. It saves running through the... I just tried to pause the timer, that's not there. That's how you know you play this game too much, when you're reaching for buttons that don't actually exist. So yeah, this skips running through the poison swamp area. So that boss was really hard, as you can tell. Extremely precise. took all of my focus, the entirety of my being. So this is our last level up. 44 strength, 25 skill. And now we're going back to a familiar area. We're going back to the Forbidden Woods, because there's something here that we need to get in order to kill an optional boss. So this is like one of my favorite skips in the run. This is called Cave Skip. I think I got it. That was kind of scary because I couldn't see my lineup. Also, I almost swore. You guys didn't hear that. I almost said the fudge word. Is there a skip? Unfortunately not. Heck! There you go. That's your one swear for the night. Alright, so this is why we went so far out of our way, is to grab the Canehurst summons over here. So that'll let us go to the castle, the Canehurst castle, to kill... I almost said 2 optional bosses, I don't know why. There's only 1 optional boss there. Called Martyr Logarius. So you need him for all bosses. I've never actually found him before, though. The area's pretty snowy. It's just hard to see, so hopefully we'll find him in this run. And that's the last umbilical cord we need there. So we got 1 from the abandoned workshop before Amelia. We got 1 from Murgo's Wet Nurse, and that was the 3rd one there, so... Okay, so now we're gonna go kill the Celestial Emissary and Ebritus, Daughter of the Cosmos. So this is that secret area I was talking about before, where we needed the key. A milli. So I'm going to do a safety quit out here. You can go around the long way, but I don't feel like it. That's not how you say it, Indu. In one of the deleted or cut audio tracks, or audio files, one of the NPCs says Ebritus. So there you go. Get wrecked. That's why it was cut, because it was wrong. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna do Orphanage Key Skip here. This is a pretty cool skip. It's not even really a glitch, I guess. It's just kind of, like, funny that they put the enemy you needed to kill just close enough to the door that you can hit him. Yeah, it's definitely intended. How about you don't? How about that? That's actually how the skip was discovered, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just a lot easier to do with the cane. Very cool. I missed a hit. Missed another hit. Wasn't it originally done with the Kirk hammer? I'm pretty sure Hex found it by hitting him with the threaded or the saw cleaver, but then they tried other weapons after. I could be wrong, but so now we're getting taken to the DLC. We're not going to finish the DLC yet. We're just going to grab the lamp and then leave. But we'll come back after we kill Cleric Beast. Yeah, Kirkhammer is just a backup strat because you can actually buy the weapon. The threaded cane, we used to use it because you can get it for free at the start of the run with a glitch that lets you grab 2 starting weapons. But I didn't do that. It saves like 3 seconds. It saves like a second and a half skipping the cane itself, and then on the skip you save 1 hit. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not like it's a difficult strat, so it's only worth it if you're really going for a good time, but it's not that hard. I've practiced it a lot. It is a lot harder than the other strat though. Yep. Amygdala has been slain. Yeah, Bloodborne is actually my favorite Jason Bourne movie, believe it or not. So this is the first boss in the game. Excuse me, was the first boss in the game. He's dead. He's gone. It's over. So finally we get a +10 weapon, and we're going to the DLC. Sounds like the DLC would be like the scariest part of the run. It kind of is, because it's close to the end and your nerves are firing, but it's actually really consistent, assuming you don't make dumb mistakes. I'm actually not American. Believe it or not. By that logic, somebody from Brazil is also American. Because they're from South America. So there's going to be one quit out here. You can avoid this quit out by just either getting lucky and having the guys not kick you at the door, or by just having another elixir, but doesn't really matter. It's just quick to quit out here, and it's easy. Again, I reached to pause my timer. Okay, so we saved one fire paper earlier in the run for Ludwig, because when he dies with fire paper, he actually dies a little faster. He has a different death animation. Not sure what I messed up there. I think I missed the leg. I think I missed the part of the leg I was trying to hit. And hit his back leg instead, but that's okay. Just an extra hit. How many bosses in the DLC? 5, yeah. We're gonna come back here later to grab Lawrence's skull after Orphan of Kos. This is probably my least favorite area in the entire game. Not a huge fan of it. I've lost many runs here, so I'm probably biased, but... Yeah, Bloodborne's 1080p, but I'm streaming at 720p. So we quit out here to reset these enemies, because they don't have AI. Like these guys, you can see they're just kind of standing there. There's like some sort of trigger down the hallway or down the stairs or something like that. So since I quit out, it resets that trigger. So that guy's crazy. He can kill you very easily, but most of the time, if you roll his first attack and then just start climbing the ladder, he's not going to hit you. So this boss, unironically, is one of the scarier fights in the run. Because I know this boss has a reputation of being one of the easiest bosses in the game, but they do a lot of damage, so... They're a bit scary. Especially when you're this far into the run. So that went well. We're gonna quit out here to preserve our beasthood meter. It most definitely does not save time, like real time. But it just makes the Maria fight so much easier. And it does save in-game time because you keep your beasthood meter. Okay, that was a bad fight, but whatever. I can't even see my marking on the ground because of all this blood. I think this is where I'm supposed to stand. Yeah, she kind of ruined that fight by backstepping so many times, but whatever. Yeah, I actually fought Shadows. And it was a darn good fight, if I do say so myself. Okay, so Orphan is the one spot that I'm kind of scared about, but whatever if I die. Not a huge deal. I didn't grab any extra insight, so I only have one pellet here. So if I do die, I have to go back and get more pellets. Or if he does instant lightning in phase 2, then I have to fight him. Which I'm not bad at fighting him in phase 2, but anything can happen really because he's so fast. Fighting him in phase 2 can go south pretty quickly. But we can just hope that it's not going to happen. Alright. Okay, so that was Fishing Hamlet Skip. It looks a lot scarier than it actually is. You do die if you quit out too late. So if you wait just like half a second more there, you'll die. But I've gotten pretty good at timing it. No, it's not required. I just prefer fighting shadows. So we're going for backstabs here. They do a ton of damage, as you can see. And we're gonna get a bait here where he can jump over your head by doing a butt scratch animation. Very good fight. So now we're kind of home free. There's not really anything. I mean, if I die to Logarius, I'm losing a bunch of time, but that marks the end of the super difficult bosses. What? I've never seen that happen. I took a hard fall after doing the backstep. That was weird. So that's a little optimization I found for the menuing there. It saves exactly one up press. Extremely poggers. Yeah, as long as I can find Logarius, this run should be home free. Or I should say that it replaces 2 up presses with 1 R1. So it saves 1 button press. Very highly poggers. Very cool. And now the final stretch. So we're going to be killing Witches, Logarius, and then finally Gehrman and Moon Presence, the last two bosses. That was an awful joke. I'm never going to be able to unsee that. So this area is a little scary, I guess, but these enemies are early game enemies, so they do almost no damage. Like, if one of these dogs hits you, it does, like, not even 10% of your health. And you one-shot them, so... If they block you in the door, you can just do an R1, kill them all. Yeah, that was a pretty average joke. I'm not the one to ask about lore, because I know nothing about it. Okay, so we're gonna use our last elixir here. You'd think this would be like kind of a waste of time, because I said these enemies, they don't do that much damage, but it's not for dying. It's like, it's not for safety, really. It's more for, if they hit you, you lose so much time, especially because there's so many dogs there. So if like 3 or 4 of them hit you as you're running up here, you lose more time than you'd save by skipping the elixir, if that makes any sense. So buying an elixir actually saves time. So if you've ever seen Dark Souls 3 speedruns, when they kill the cursed Greatwood, they jump into the air and then quit out. before the fight ends. So they jump into the air before the fight ends, and then quit out after it ends. So they spawn back on the top, but after the boss is dead. So that's basically the same thing there, except way easier, because you just jump on top of that barrel, and that's it. And it spawns you outside the fight. It saves exactly 2 seconds. So, obviously not marathon friendly, or I guess optimized for a marathon, but it makes it running through this area easier, so... It's worth it in a run for those 2 in-game seconds, but the reason I did it there is just for safety, because those enemies will all be aggroed if you just run out of the arena. But quitting out makes them all passive, so it's pretty nice. It has the bonus side effect of making it easier to run through that area, on top of it being faster. Do they have snacks at the event? Of course, because the event is being held at my house right now. And then when the next person starts, the event will be transferred over to their house. Did they have snacks? I'm not sure. I don't know who's going next. Alright, so this is the last optional boss of the run before we go to Gehrman and Moon Presence, which are the final and true final boss of the game. So that fight can go south really easily, but it's a pretty easy fight. Like, that was perfect. Okay, so we are, like, super ahead of estimate because we have, like, no major issues, so that's nice. Very nice. And now the last boss, Moon Presence. Cool. And time. That was Bloodborne. In a moderate pace. Very cool. 106. Well, I guess that's it for me. Thanks everyone for watching. If you want to check out speedrunning one of these games, one of the Souls games, one of the FromSoft games, should join the Speed Souls Discord, discord.gg/speedsouls, and lots of helpful people. And